Thanks for joining me. I am really excited to dive in to the latest Cyberpunk TCG reveals. I've recently been at Gen Con 2026, hanging out with the Weird Code team, so I've got to see some of the cards in person. But in that time, I missed my opportunity to talk about some of the latest reveals, talk about how good I think they are, and what deck they might be played in. So I'm going to go through some of the reveals from Gen Con and some of that came after Gen Con, and talk about how I think they fit in the Cyberpunk TCG meta and what this changes for us. So as Gen Con was going on, there was a lot of reveals happening all at the same time. Gen Con is a 4-day convention over in the US in Indiana. And at the convention, there was a lot of interest in the game. The stand was always really busy, which is really awesome. A lot of people wanted to try it again and again. And during that time, we saw some cool new cards. I talked about the Iconics. So I showed an Iconic Judy in one of my shorts, which you can see below. But now I want to dive into the other cards. Okay, so the mechanically unique cards. We're going to start by talking about the Relic. So the Relic is a 5-cost gear that has a 4 RAM requirement. So we're looking at this in double yellow. It gives +3 power, and on defeated, it plays another unit with cost 9 or less from your trash of 3. What that means, notably as well, you then also bottom deck this unit, so then we can't loop this unit with the Relic. What this means is you can play Placide. Realistically, you could play this in an Atom Smasher deck, so you can discard Atom Smasher and use this to get Atom Smasher out earlier. You could also play this with a double yellow and blue deck to play Placide, cheat out big cost units like Placide. You don't want to see 3 copies of this because it's obviously clunky. It's a 5-cost equip. But being able to discard something early and then play it later is really strong. From play, now that I've started playing this card and playing against this card, I think this card can be really strong. It threatens a lot, so you just equip it to one of your lower units, one of your 4 costs, and then your opponent doesn't want to kill it. So yeah, the threat of always being able to play Placide, get Placide on play. If your opponent defeats it, it's probably during their turns. Then on your turn, it can attack and then trigger Placide again. Really, really strong. Or being able to play Atom Smasher, so you might even crash your own unit, use that to play Atom Smasher to wipe the board. The Relic is really strong. It's deserving of its high rarity. So I think this is going to be strong. Hopefully not too strong. Next we have Pacifica Netrunner. Is a green unit. It's a 4-cost 1 power unit that has a 2 RAM requirement. On play, if your street cred is an even number, a rival unit can't ready until your next turn. So, notably it can steal a gig. It has 1 power, which is enough to steal a gig. What's interesting here is, one, we need street cred to be even, which is quite specific. The way that you get even, and the reason that green interacts with even is because any gig pair will always make an even. Any 2 numbers that are the same always make an even. So, if you have a pair of 1s, a pair of 3s, a pair of 6, it always makes an even number. That said, a rival can't ready until your next turn is strong at one point in the game, but like earlier on in the game, probably not. So I think this is an okay card. It's not bad by any stretch, but I don't think we're going to see this played too much. I could be wrong there. Pyramid Song is a 3-cost brain dance. It has a 3 blue RAM requirement. So before I even read the effect, I think what's notable here is it's a 3-cost, so it can be replayed with Lizzie Wizzy. It's a brain dance, so it interacts with Judy. And Pyramid Song says, choose one effect. If a friendly D4 is a minimum, choose both instead. So you need a D4 that's a 1. Give a rival unit -4 power this turn is your first choice. And your second choice is bottom deck a rival unit with power 0. So you can use this to reduce something, to walk over something. You can use this to instantly bottom deck something. If you play this twice on something, you can take a Placide down to 2. If you use 3, you can take a Placide down to 0 and bottom deck it. Realistically, I think this is really strong. There's a lot of new cards that have been announced that seem play that have 8, so being able to take 8 to 4. There's also some good blockers that have 4 that you can take to 0, like Rita Wheeler. Pyramid Song's incredibly strong. And being able to do both as well. You could -4 from something, so you can attack over it, and then also just bottom deck something with 0, like a Bombers. Really, really strong. Can be replayed. Is a brain dance, so your unit will also get +1 if you're playing the new Judy Alvarez. Yeah, I think this is one of the better programs we've got in the game. I think Pyramid Song is great. Again, notably 3 RAM means you're seeing this in double blue, so this is how we keep it contained. And the beautiful, the legendary Jonny Silverhand Iconic. So it's an iconic secret. If you don't know how rarities work in Cyberpunk TCG, secret is the top rarity. The top mechanically unique rarity, I should say. So this is one of 4. So there's 4 different secret cards in the set. We've seen Jonny, we've seen Sasha. At the con, we also saw Judy Alvarez. This is an iconic version, so it's an alt art. It's an alt art that's probably quite hard to pull. But this standard version is just a secret. A secret is one in every retail box. I think it's one in every 24 packs. So what Jonny says is he's a red legend. So he's a red legend that gives 2 RAM. He's a merc, a rocker, and samurai. So these actually will be relevant when we talk about some interactions. With Jonny, you can pay 2 eddies and tap him. A friendly unit can attack rival gigs the turn it's spent. If it's a rocker, also give it +2 this turn. This effect costs 1 eddy less for each friendly gig with 8+ value. Wow. You know, just take that in for a second. So what this means is that if you have 2 gigs with 8+, you just have to tap him to give something essentially adrenaline, but only into units. If it's a rocket, it gets +2, which is really relevant with some of the new cards that I'm going to look at afterwards. This is really good. It threatens so much. Your opponent can't just spend things and, you know, just hope that it works out. You can threaten all the time. So your opponent has to be careful when spending now with Jonny on the board. As well, the ability to give a rocker +2. You can do that any turn. So even if it's not the turn it's played, you can tap Jonny and target a rocker to give it +2. When I show you the rockers in a moment, 2 of the rockers that we have 8 power, which means it takes them to 10. So he can essentially push them over to steal a gig every turn. The unit that can attack friendly units doesn't have to be a rocker. So you can give it to anything. That means if you manage to make it work, you could do it with Placide. So you could play Placide, discard a program, bottom deck something, attack a unit, bottom deck something. Really, really good. Reminder that it does have to be spent, otherwise this would be OP. But I think Jonny's one of the better legends in the game. I'm really enjoying playing this. You know, since coming home, I played a lot of games with this, and I'm really enjoying this card. So, it's also worth mentioning that in the card database, they added all the iconic rare arts for all the legends, so they're all available. What I do want to talk about is 2 of the newly announced cards that go with this Jonny, which is Rockling Rockerboy. So this is a 5-cost yellow unit. It has 8 power, and it has the rocket tag, and it has no ability. That said, with the Jonny Legend, this now attacks for 10. So it's a 5-cost that attacks for 10. Being able to play this with 6 eddies. So if you flip Jonny early on, then you can play this on turn 3. And you are able to attack spent units with this, with the Jonny card. So even though it's got no effect, I think this is really strong. I think the stat line is pretty good anyway. 5/8, being a rocker, getting +2 from Jonny to take it to 10. Really strong synergy. I'm really impressed by this card with no effect. So we tend to call these vanillas. I'm really impressed with this vanilla card. And our other rocket is Jonny. Jonny is a heck of a rocker. He's a 6-cost red unit. He has 8 power and 2 red RAM requirements. Obviously he's Jonny, so he's a rocker, and he says the first time this unit wins a fight each turn, ready it. He also says this unit wins all fights against corpo units. All fights. That is huge. That means your Meredith Stout that's a blocker, well, it doesn't matter what you put on her, he wins. What wins all fights means is that regardless of the power values, you win. You don't compare the power values, he just wins. He's also able to ready, which means that you can attack with him, re-ready, keep him safe, or attack again. So there's nothing stopping him attacking again. If you combine this with the Jonny Legend, now we're looking at a 10 power unit that can attack 2 units. So he can attack 2 spent units. Or if we played in the turn before, he can attack a spent unit and attack gigs. So realistically, you know, if your opponent puts down blockers, they can't block all the attacks from Jonny. So he's really good. He's really good, really strong. 6 and 8 is fine anyway. But then all this extra text that does so much, I think this is one of the best cards we've seen. I think this is, in combination with the other Jonny Legend, I think this is meta warping. This is a deck I'm going to be playing a lot of. I think this is really strong. Also note that this Jonny and the other Jonny only have 2 RAM requirement. So you can play them with 2 of the colours. So we might play Jonny with yellow, so we can play the Rockerboy, but then we also have another colour to choose from. So there's a lot of potential synergy. I think this Jonny synergizes well with potentially cards like River Ward as well. The River Ward Legend lets you attach gear. You can quick attach gear. So if we're playing River Ward, we can give him blocker, so we can attack once, and then during your opponent's turn, use quick to give him blocker. Unsurprisingly, Jonny's going to make a splash in the game. I think this is really cool. I think all the reveals we've got are really cool. I think these are going to change the game. I think we're really saving the best for last. And I think we have to be really careful with how we're preparing for the Cyberpunk TCG meta now. I think the cards that we're seeing are getting stronger and stronger. So I think we have to be careful making firm decisions right now. And we have to be open-minded. But right now, I think Jonny's really good. I think the Jonny Legend's really good. I think the unit's really good. I'm really interested to see what else we get later this month. There's a lot of reveals coming soon. At the end of the month, we should have all the reveals, and products should start arriving with Kickstarter backers the 1st of September. So very, very soon, we should be able to get our hands on these. That's all. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to continue reviewing the cards as we get closer to the set. We'll talk about decks. We'll talk about meta. More competitive Cyberpunk TCG content coming soon, guys. Look out for it below. Thank you.